Hi, my name's Trevor Magnuson. Welcome to my kitchen. On today's menu, we have shellac. I'm going to be dispelling some of the myths and misinformation you may have picked up if all you have learnt about French polishing comes from YouTube videos. And yes, I am aware of the irony of that. The first myth I'd like to address is more of a value position, and that's that the alcohol you use when making shellac should be drinkable. You're not going to be drinking on the job, certainly not from the bottle you use to make your shellac. Methanol is toxic, but it is not an accumulating toxin, and the amount that you absorb through your skin or breathe in as fumes is very, very small, and your body will safely metabolize it away with no ill effects. Now, if you are in a tiny room and you've got spirit burn in your nostrils and eyes 100% of the time, all day, every day, maybe reevaluate that position. But if you are doing French polishing on a guitar or another woodwork project from time to time, you don't need to worry about using regular methylated spirit. Another reason for that is that if you live in Australia or certain other countries, the tax on food grade close to 200 proof alcohol is exorbitant. So save yourself the money, it's not important. The next myth, or rather red herring, is that if you buy your alcohol from a big box store, it's about 5% or even more water. Now this is true, it's just not very important. Some people say that you should buy 100% industrial methylated spirit, no water at all. But the minute we take the lid off that, it's going to start sucking moisture out of the air. I live in Hobart, where the humidity is rather high, and it will eventually reach an equilibrium of about 5% water. Nevertheless, it is a good idea, it is prudent to do something about that, to limit the amount of water that the alcohol hygroscopically pulls in from the atmosphere. To that end, I use tapioca. You may also know it as tapioca pearls or seed tapioca, little balls that look like hundreds and thousands. Here's some that actually came out of this bottle. It's been in there for a year doing its job, and I'm going to refresh it by driving off the moisture by just putting this in the oven for about half an hour at very low temperature. That little bag contains exactly the same thing. Voiceover Trev here. In this section I pontificate on common advice regarding shellac concentration. There's a lot of online advice to mix a so-called 4-pound cut, which I find quite thick. My current preference is a 2-pound cut, which dissolves more easily and is convenient to use. The only minor drawback is you have to charge the rubber a bit more often. In future I might try a 3-pound or bench cut, as it's sometimes known. Now, a 2-pound cut is 50 grams of flakes. That's too much. 50 grams of flakes in 200 mils of alcohol. There's probably a better way of doing this. I'll put the cork in that and I'll sit it in a pot of hot water to warm up the alcohol and help it dissolve faster. And every 5 minutes or so, I'll allow pressure to be relieved, like so. We now come to the most dangerous part of the operation. Seriously, do you have any idea what would happen if my wife were to walk in? And there it is. Which brings me to the final myth. If you go looking for YouTube videos on shellac, you'll find an awful lot where it looks like this. This is whiskey. This is the shellac I've just made. It looks like gravy. That's because this is waxed or coloured orange shellac. The clear cognac-like concoctions that you see in other YouTube videos are almost certainly unwaxed or clear shellac. They've also probably used days of filtering through charcoal filters or coffee filters or goodness knows what. When I first made shellac, I thought I had done something wrong. I got advice online. They said your alcohol's got too much water in it, your shellac's got too much rubbish in it. Not true. This is what it looks like, and this is okay. The shellac you may see that looks like this will dry and cure clear and is good if you want a clear finish. But if you want the rich coloration that brings and ties together all the different timbers of your project or your guitar, a coloured shellac, regular orange shellac, is the one you're going to need to be using, and it looks like gravy.